Bob, there is a growing perception that the process you started more than 20 years ago at Barry-Wehmiller needs now to become mainstream so that companies can be part of the solution rather than the part of the problems of our era. When I present your case at events, I would say that the vast majority of business leaders feel inspired and really would like to do something similar. So my question is, what were the main barriers, the points of resistance that you faced in carrying out this transformation process? So what is more difficult to overcome to create this truly humane, caring, and ethical company, starting with the relationship with the employees themselves or team members?
But again, in America, a couple of years ago, a guy named Bernie Sanders was running for presidential. He wanted to be a presidential candidate, and he talked about socialism. America is based on free enterprise. And surveys were done, and a lot of young people were showing that they like socialism better than free enterprise. So that America's 200 top CEOs, called the CEO Roundtable, came out with a statement in that environment of the discussion of socialism and said, we as CEOs of the world, of America's largest corporations, need to think about more than just our shareholders. It was, obviously to defend free enterprise, they came out with this eloquent statement. The sad thing is they have no idea how to do that. I mean, you can say, I want to speak Chinese tomorrow, but if you don't know how to speak Chinese, it's a nice statement. It just doesn't have any substance. And nothing changed. It was just a statement to try and offset Bernie Sanders talking about socialism. And these are not bad people. Brian Moynihan, head of Bank of America, Doug McMillan, head of Walmart, millions of people that work for them. They're really fine people, but they were never taught in our educational system. So I would say to you, the biggest challenge is, first of all, your board of directors will have no idea what you're talking about. I once said to our board, we've been on this journey 20 years. Some years into it, I said to one of our most senior board members, who was chairman of the largest glass company in the world, Owens, Illinois. He was on the Chrysler Daimler board, the Mercedes-Benz board. He had a private equity firm. I mean, unbelievably prominent gentleman on our board. And I said, Bob, have you ever at your board meetings talked about culture, your people? And Bob paused a minute and he said, once at Chrysler, we talked about executive compensation. That's as close as he could come. Boards, I brought in a guy named Chuck Knight, who built up a $24 billion company, a global company called Emerson Electric. He loved our strategy. He loved everything we're doing. When we talked about culture, he went dead silent. It is something that we don't teach. It is something, it's like trying to convince people to speak a language they don't speak. Culture is a foreign language. So your boards, your shareholders, your leaders. So that is why we created 20 years ago the internal university to teach human skills that we don't teach in college. Yesterday, I was at a university with 25,000 people talking to the president about creating a special leadership development program within the university that they are excited about, where we teach human skills parallel with academic skills. Right now, I was asked a couple of years ago to speak at Brown University, the University of Presidents. And in so I went up to Harvard and I said, what is the purpose of education? This is in America, so in that context. And the professors at Harvard said, well, the founding fathers of America felt we needed an informed citizen to have a democracy. So education was created by the government to ensure that we had informed citizens who could vote thoughtfully. Well, the Industrial Revolution came along sometime later, and Henry Ford said, give me engineers, accountants, give me analysts, give me production workers. So the Industrial Revolution, which was thought to be so beneficial because it raised the standard of living, gave people more reliable income, improved healthcare, improved benefits, it But so the universities, everybody felt this is wonderful. Look at all the jobs are being created, incomes being created. It's going to make prosperity and happiness. So our universities became skills factories. They got the best raw material they could, which is the best academic students, processed them through the system, and then sold them to the market. And if they got a good price for these kids, they must be doing well. Okay. Henry Ford did not say, I want good leaders. He said, I need good engineers, good accountants to create, because huge amount of wealth was being created. And that was very beneficial to people. But when were unions formed in America? At the very time, the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, to protect the workers from the greed of management, okay? So the economic foundation of our society, and many that followed us around the Industrial Revolution, thought to be so beneficial, forgot one critical thing. Henry Ford should have said, not only do I want these skills, but I want to make sure I've got leaders as I bring these people together in factories and offices. We have leaders who know how to treat these people with dignity and respect. Nope. We're going to use people to make money. We're going to send them home feeling used, and we'll discard them if we can buy a machine tool and get rid of them. Okay. I remember in my youth in business, if we could buy a machine tool and eliminate some people, it was good. Great. We just saved money. We didn't say we destroyed 5 lives of people that we let go. We said we saved money, improved profitability. So I would say to you that the CEO roundtable, you can't just say, okay, on Monday, we're going to start caring for our people. It is a skill. Just, you can't say I'm going to be an accountant on Monday. I'm not going to be an engineer on Monday. You know, it is a skill that has to be taught. And that is what we do in our university. And that's why we created the Outreach Initiative, our Leadership Institute, to help people who believe what we believe join us in this journey to heal through the power of business, the brokenness we're all feeling in the world. And again, nobody at McKinsey, nobody at Harvard, Simon Sinek, Raj Sisodia, people, everybody that comes in our company, and we're an industrial company that makes capital equipment around the world, from Serbia to China to India to Brazil, et cetera, around the world, 12,000 people. Nobody debates what I just said to you. They just have no idea. Again, you can't go into your board and said, even Doug Parker struggled with what he was going to tell his board of American Airlines. Even though he was chairman of the board and CEO, he struggled. And I said, be very careful, because they are not going to understand. Eventually, the board loved it. Why? Not for the right reason. They had to love it in a language we teach boards. They felt it would become a strategic advantage to have a good culture. A strategic advantage, okay? Not a human advantage, market share, you know, the customers will like us better. Not that they would care for the 130,000 people that, so anyway, for all of you, it is a huge